Before you book that trip to Italy, watch this. Because what you think you know about Italy, it's wrong. Everyone sees the same thing: the Colosseum, the canals, the pasta, the art. They're looking at Italy, but they're not seeing it. Here's what nobody tells you. Italy isn't a destination, it's a frequency. A wavelength that most tourists never tune into. This is a country where grandmothers guard recipes like classified documents, where teenagers debate politics over espresso with the intensity of a courtroom, where 2,000-year-old ruins aren't attractions, they're just Tuesday. Italy invented the Renaissance, gave us opera, espresso, la Dolce Vita, the sweet life. But here's the secret. The Renaissance never ended. It's still burning. In every kitchen, every argument about wine, every hand gesture that says more than words ever could. Most people visit Italy, but Italy doesn't want to be visited. It wants to live inside you. Over the next hour, we're tearing up the guidebook. No monument checklists, no restaurant rankings, just the Italy that Italians know, the one hiding in plain sight. This isn't just a travel guide. This is an invitation to see Italy as few outsiders ever do. We're just getting started. Subscribe to our channel to rediscover the world through a fresh lens. One journey at a time. Are you ready? Let's begin. Rome shouldn't work. A city built on 7 hills where ancient temples share sidewalks with designer boutiques. Where nuns text while walking past graffiti. Where the past and present collide every single day. Romans don't live around history, they live with it. That broken column in the parking lot? Part of the Forum. That church you pass buying groceries? Built in the 4th century. The Colosseum. 2,000 years old. 50,000 Romans once filled these seats to watch spectacles we can barely imagine. Blood, glory, politics as entertainment. But here's what strikes you standing inside. It's smaller than you imagined, more intimate. You can hear the acoustics, you can feel how sound would have traveled, how a crowd could have roared. The Forum was Rome's beating heart, where senators debated, where markets thrived, where Julius Caesar was murdered. Now cats sleep on marble that once held up the world. Rome fell. Everyone knows this. But Romans never got the memo. They just kept building. Medieval towers on Roman foundations, Baroque churches over pagan temples, Renaissance palaces using ancient columns, the Pantheon, nearly 2,000 years old, still standing, still perfect. The dome remains the world's largest unreinforced concrete dome. Romans figured out engineering we're still studying. That hole in the ceiling is intentional. Rain falls directly onto the floor. It's designed that way. Romans didn't fear the elements. They incorporated them. Throw a coin in Trevi Fountain and you'll return to Rome. That's the legend. Tourists throw 3 million euros a year into this fountain. The city collects it for charity. Even legends serve a purpose. But come at dawn, when only the street cleaners are working, when the Baroque statues seem to breathe in the quiet, that's when you understand. Rome reveals herself to those who wake early. The Spanish Steps aren't Spanish. They were built by the French. This is Rome in a sentence. Nothing is quite what it seems. History is layered like lasagna. Cross the Tiber to Trastevere. This is Rome's bohemian heart. Narrow medieval streets, hidden piazzas, restaurants where tourists struggle with menus and locals order in dialect. Romans eat dinner late. 9, 10 at night. Not because they're lazy, because they're savoring. The pause between work and sleep is sacred. It's when life actually happens. The Vatican is the world's smallest country inside Rome's boundaries. 109 acres of absolute sovereignty. The Pope lives here. So do Swiss guards in Renaissance uniforms. It's medieval, modern, and eternal all at once. Michelangelo painted the Sistine Chapel ceiling lying on his back for 4 years. 512 square meters of biblical scenes. When it was unveiled, people thought God himself had painted it. But modern Rome isn't frozen in glory. It's chaotic, bureaucratic. Traffic is warfare. Strikes happen monthly. Nothing works quite right. and Romans wouldn't have it any other way. From Genicolo Hill, you see all of Rome at once, domes and antennas, ancient and modern, sacred and profane, beautiful and crumbling, perfect and broken. Rome teaches you this: perfection is overrated. What matters is living fully, arguing passionately, eating well, loving loudly. The empire fell. The city endures because Romans never forgot how to live. Tuscany looks exactly like you imagine, because what you're imagining is Tuscany, those perfect hills, those cypress-lined roads, that golden light. It's all real. This land shaped the Renaissance, not by accident. Tuscany's wealth came from banking, trade, and textiles. Money bought patronage. Patronage bought genius. Genius created immortality. Florence is impossible. A city of 400,000 people that changed human civilization. In 1 century, the 15th, Florence produced more art than most nations create in a millennium. Brunelleschi's dome on the Florence Cathedral, built between 1420 and 1436. No one knew how to build a dome that size. Brunelleschi figured it out. No buttresses, no scaffolding, pure engineering genius. Climb the 463 steps inside. The walls close in. The frescoes of the Last Judgment surround you. The Uffizi Gallery holds the world's finest collection of Renaissance art. Botticelli's Birth of Venus. Leonardo's Annunciation. Room after room of works that define beauty itself. Botticelli painted Venus rising from the sea in 1485. She's not idealized in the modern sense. She's real, vulnerable, human divinity. Michelangelo carved David from a single block of flawed marble. The statue is 17 feet tall, every muscle anatomically perfect, every vein visible. David isn't preparing for battle. He's thinking about it. Intelligence before strength. Ponte Vecchio has spanned the Arno since 1345. Shops line both sides. Once butchers worked here, now jewelers. The bridge survived World War II because even retreating German soldiers couldn't bring themselves to destroy it. Leave Florence and Tuscany opens like a dream. Val d'Orcia, Chianti, Montepulciano. Names that sound like wine because they are wine. Chianti. Classico wines have been made here since Etruscan times. The same hills, the same grapes, the same families for 30 generations. This isn't business, it's identity. Medieval hill towns crown every high point. Stone buildings unchanged for 600 years. Towers that once symbolized family power. Streets too narrow for cars. Time moving at foot speed. The piazza is still the center, where news spreads, where politics are argued, where teenagers flirt and old men complain. The same way they have for centuries. Agriturismo, farm stays. Tuscans converted working farms into accommodations. You wake to roosters. Eat what the farm grows. This is slow travel, not rushing. Not counting countries, just being. Tuscan cooking is peasant food elevated to art. Ribollita soup, papa al pomodoro, bistecca alla fiorentina. Simple ingredients treated with respect. This is Tuscan philosophy, quality over complexity. Tuscany teaches you to see, really see, how light changes, how color deepens, how beauty doesn't need to shout. It just needs to exist. In Tuscany, art isn't confined to museums. It's in the landscape, the food, the wine, the way people live. The Renaissance never ended here. It just became daily life. Venice is a hallucination, a city that shouldn't exist, built on 118 islands in a lagoon. No cars, no roads, just water and stone and stubborn human will. You can't drive to Venice. You arrive by water or train. And the moment you step onto stone, you enter a dream. No traffic sounds, just footsteps, water lapping, distant voices echoing. The Grand Canal snakes through the city like a reversed question mark. Palazzos line both sides. Gothic, Byzantine, Renaissance, Baroque, each one a merchant statement of wealth and power. The Rialto Bridge has crossed the Grand Canal since 1591. Once it was the only bridge. Now it's the most famous. Shops line both sides. The same spot has been Venice's commercial heart for 1,000 years. St. Mark's Square at dawn, before the crowds, before the musicians. Just you and the pigeons and 1,000 years of history. St. Mark's Basilica gleams with gold mosaics, stolen horses on the facade. Inside, every surface shimmers. This is Byzantine opulence, Eastern Empire aesthetics in Western Europe. Venice traded with everyone, borrowed from everyone, belonged to no one. The Doge's palace was Venice's seat of power for centuries. The Doge, elected duke, lived here, governed here. The Bridge of Sighs connected the palace to the prison. Condemned men crossed it for their last view of Venice before imprisonment. Venetian masks weren't just carnival costumes, they were social equalizers. Behind a mask, a servant could speak freely. A noble could misbehave anonymously. Identity became fluid. Venice has always understood performance. Venice's streets, Colli, are deliberately confusing. No grid, no logic. Streets end at water. Bridges appear unexpectedly. Getting lost isn't failure, it's the point. Discovery happens when you're not looking for it. Gondolas are asymmetrical. The right side is longer than the left. This compensates for the gondolier standing on the right. Every gondola is custom-built by hand. The tradition hasn't changed in centuries. A gondola ride reveals Venice's private face. Bridges you'd never find walking, windows with flowers, hidden courtyards. The city from water level, how it was always meant to be seen. Murano has made glass since the 13th century. Venetian glass was so valuable, so secret, that glassmakers were forbidden to leave Venice. If they tried, assassins would follow. That's how seriously Venice took its crafts. Burano explodes with color. Every house painted a different shade. The tradition began so fishermen could see home from the lagoon. Now it's Instagram famous. But locals still live here, still fish, still make lace by hand. Venice is sinking, or the water is rising. Both are true. Acqua alta, high water, floods the city more frequently each decade. November brings knee-deep water to St. Mark's Square. Venetians just put on boots and continue. Venice at blue hour. That moment between day and night when electric lights glow and the sky still holds color. Water reflects everything double. Reality becomes negotiable. Venice teaches you that impossibility is just difficulty no one has solved yet. That beauty requires maintenance. That stubbornness can be virtue. That some places exist not despite the odds but because someone refused to accept them. Loving the journey so far? Subscribe to our channel to explore the world with us every week. Southern Italy is a different country. Louder, warmer, poorer, richer. The contradictions intensify. The stereotypes prove true and completely wrong simultaneously. Naples is beautiful and ugly and alive in ways that make neat cities seem dead. Laundry hangs across streets. Scooters ignore every traffic law. People shout conversations from balconies. This is organized chaos refined to art form. Pizza was invented here, not in Italy, in Naples, specifically. The margherita, tomato, mozzarella, basil was created in 1889 to honor Queen Margherita. The colors of the Italian flag. Patriotism you can eat. Neapolitan pizza has rules, strict rules. The dough must rise for at least 8 hours. The oven must burn wood. The crust must be soft, charred, chewy. This isn't food regulation, it's cultural protection. Spacca Napoli, Naples splitter, is a street so straight and long it seems to cut the city in half. It follows the ancient Greek grid from 2,500 years ago. Romans built on it. Medieval Neapolitans built on Romans. Vesuvius destroyed Pompeii in 79 AD. It could erupt again. Experts say when, not if. 3 million people live in the evacuation zone. Neapolitans shrug. Some risks you live with, like family, like love. Pompeii is a time capsule, not ruins. A snapshot. Bread still in ovens, election graffiti on walls, bodies frozen mid-gesture. 20,000 people died in hours, but their city preserved itself forever. Walking Pompeii's streets, you understand Romans weren't ancients. They were people who argued politics, ate street food, ran businesses, gossiped, loved. The gap of 2,000 years vanishes in preserved minutiae. The Amalfi Coast is vertically gorgeous. Towns don't sit on coast. They cling to it. Positano cascades down cliffs in pastel chaos. Amalfi itself hides in a valley. Ravello floats above, looking down at the Mediterranean like a throne. Positano looks fake. Too perfect. Too colorful. Buildings stacked like children's blocks. Bougainvillea exploding everywhere. Lemon trees heavy with fruit the size of softballs. Driving the Amalfi Coast is either thrilling or terrifying depending on how you feel about death. The road is narrow. The drops are vertical. Buses pass inches apart. Locals drive it like they're bored. Tourists white-knuckle every curve. Capri's Blue Grotto is a sea cave where light refracts through underwater cavity creating impossible electric blue. Ancient Romans thought it was haunted. Now tourists line up to enter by rowboat, heads ducked. Magic commercialized, but still magic. Cross to Sicily and you're in another Italy entirely. This island has been conquered by everyone. Greeks, Romans, Arabs, Normans, Spanish. Each left their mark. Sicily isn't Italian. It's Sicilian. Palermo's markets are sensory assault. Vendors shouting. Fish on ice. Sfincione flatbread. Arancini rice balls. This is street food elevated by centuries of technique and fusion. Agrigento's Valley of the Temples holds some of the best preserved Greek ruins anywhere, including Greece. The Temple of Concordia stands almost intact, 2,500 years old, glowing gold in evening light. Mount Etna is Europe's highest active volcano. It erupts regularly. Locals farm its slopes. The volcanic soil makes wine that tastes like earth and fire. You can hike to craters still fuming. Sicily lives with fire. The South teaches you that efficiency is overrated. That loudness isn't rudeness. That family isn't optional. That some things, love, food, loyalty, matter more than schedules. The South doesn't apologize. It just is, intensely. Italians don't just cook. They perform rituals. Each region guards its recipes like nuclear codes. Each grandmother claims her version is the only correct one. Wars have been fought over less. Italy has over 300 pasta shapes. Not varieties. Shapes, each one designed for specific sauces. Penny catches chunky sauces. Spaghetti wraps around oil-based ones. This is engineering disguised as cuisine. Industrial pasta uses Teflon dyes. It comes out smooth. Artisan pasta uses bronze dyes. It comes out rough. That texture holds sauce better. Italians can taste the difference. This is not snobbery, it's knowledge. Sunday lunch in Italy is sacred. Multiple generations, multiple courses, 3-4 hours minimum. This isn't about food, it's about time together. About rituals that say you matter. About not rushing what deserves attention. Watch an Italian grandmother cook. No measurements, no recipes, just knowledge lived in her hands. She learned from her grandmother who learned from hers. This is edible ancestry. Italians shop daily. Sometimes twice daily. Why? Because tomatoes perfect this morning won't be perfect tomorrow. Because freshness isn't a marketing term. It's the foundation. Olive oil in Italy is like wine. You don't just use olive oil. You use this year's oil from that specific grove in this region. The flavor profile matters. The peppery finish matters. Everything matters. Parmigiano Reggiano ages minimum 12 months, often 24, sometimes 36. Each wheel weighs 80 pounds. Inspectors tap them like drums, listening for imperfections. 1,200 liters of milk become one wheel of cheese. This is alchemy. Prosciutto di Parma ages minimum 12 months in mountain air. The meat turns deep rose. The fat becomes sweet. Nothing added except salt and thyme. Thyme is an ingredient Italians respect. Italian wine isn't about impressing sommeliers. It's about matching food. That's why regions produce wine that pairs with their cuisine. Chianti with bistecca, Barolo with brassato, Lambrusco with fatty salumi. It's not accident, it's evolution. Risotto alla Milanese in Milan, carbonara in Rome, ragu bolognese in Bologna, pesto in Genoa, ossobuco in Lombardy. Travel 50 kilometers and the food changes completely. Italy isn't one cuisine. It's 20 regions, each fiercely distinct. Italians have food rules. No cappuccino after 11 a.m. Milk is for morning. No cheese on seafood pasta. Never. Break these rules and locals will judge you. Silently. Intensely. But Italians also break their own rules. Add vegetables to carbonara. Drink cappuccino at dinner. Because rules are guidelines. What matters is intention. Respect the tradition even when you bend it. The slow food movement began in Italy in 1986 as counter to McDonald's opening in Rome. The idea food isn't fuel, it's culture, pleasure, identity. Cooking fast food is easy, cooking well takes time. Slow food protects endangered foods, heirloom tomato varieties, ancient grain types, rare pig breeds. Biodiversity is culinary wealth. Once these foods disappear, they're gone forever. Italy fights for them. Aperitivo is the pre-dinner drink and snacks ritual. 6 to 8 p.m. Spritz or Negroni. Olives, cheese, small bites. Not to fill up, to open appetite, to transition from work to pleasure, to see friends, to breathe. Coffee in Italy means espresso, 1 or 2 ounces. Drunk standing at the bar in 90 seconds. You don't linger, you don't sit with a laptop. Coffee is punctuation, not an activity. Real gelato uses less air and fat than ice cream. It's denser, smoother. The flavors are purer. Bright yellow banana gelato, artificial. Pale gray banana, real banana. Italians can spot fake from across the street. Italian food culture is really about this. Eating together creates community. Sharing food is sharing life. The meal isn't the food, it's the conversation, the laughter, the argument, the moment. In Italy, food is love made visible, effort made edible, time made delicious. It's not about fancy, it's about care, and caring is the most Italian thing of all. La Dolce Vita, the sweet life. It's not about luxury, it's about quality, about savoring, about understanding that how you live matters as much as what you achieve. The passeggiata is Italy's evening ritual. Around 6 or 7, people dress up and walk. Just walk. To see friends, to show off new clothes, to be part of the community. No destination. The walking is the point. The piazza is Italy's living room. Teenagers flirt. Old men argue politics. Children play. Couples hold hands. 3 generations share the same space. No one is isolated. No one eats alone in cars. Italian families don't just gather holidays. They gather weekly. Adult children live at home longer. Grandparents help raise kids. Family isn't obligation, it's security, identity, tribe. But modern Italy strains against tradition. Young people want independence. Job markets are difficult. Birth rates are falling. The family model is changing. Italy is in conversation with itself about what matters. Bella figura. Looking good. But more than that, making good impressions, presenting yourself well, dressing appropriately. This isn't vanity. It's respect. For yourself, for others, for the occasion. Milan is Italy's style capital. Fashion, weeks twice yearly. Design everywhere, luxury shops, but also practicality. Milanese dress well for the grocery store. Looking good is standard, not special. Sprezzatura means studied carelessness. Looking effortlessly good. Never trying too hard. Never looking like you're trying. This is Italian aesthetic philosophy in a word. The art of concealing art. Many Italian businesses close from 1 to 4. Not everywhere, not anymore. But the tradition persists. Because humans aren't machines. Rest isn't laziness. It's sustainability. Italians work to live, not live to work. Career ambition exists, but family dinner matters more. August vacation is non-negotiable. Success means happiness, not just money. Different values, not wrong, different. Every Italian town has its patron saint, its festival, its parade. These aren't tourist attractions, they're community identity. Who you are is partly where you're from, what festivals you celebrate, what traditions your town keeps. Siena's Palio horse race happens twice each summer. Bareback riders representing neighborhoods race around the medieval square. It's dangerous. Sometimes riders die. The city doesn't stop. This is passion that defies modern safety culture. Venice Carnival transforms the city for 2 weeks before Lent. Elaborate masks and costumes, street performances, balls in palazzos. For centuries, this was when social rules dissolved, when identity became fluid. The tradition continues. Italians stand closer, touch more, kiss cheeks. This makes some cultures uncomfortable. For Italians, it's normal. Distance feels cold. Formality feels rude. Warmth is how you show respect. Order 1 coffee at an Italian cafe, and you can sit for hours. No one will rush you. No one will glare. Your presence is enough. Time is meant to be inhabited, not just passed through. Art in Italy isn't confined to galleries. It's in the church you pass daily, the fountain in your neighborhood, the fresco in the government building. Beauty is baseline. Ugliness is the exception that shocks. Italian is a relatively new unified language. Until 1861, Italy was separate kingdoms. Regional dialects remain strong. A Sicilian and Venetian-speaking dialect can barely understand each other. Unity and diversity coexist. La Dolce Vita isn't about having everything perfect. It's about appreciating what you have. The good coffee, the sunny morning, the friend you saw, the meal you shared. Life is sweet not when it's perfect, but when you notice it. Italy teaches you that some things can't be rushed, that efficiency isn't everything, that beauty matters, that relationships require time, that pleasure isn't guilty, that living well is its own achievement. Italy shouldn't work. The government changes constantly. Bureaucracy is Byzantine. Nothing happens on time. Corruption exists. Regional rivalries run deep. By every metric, Italy should be a disaster. And yet, Italy is the 8th largest economy in the world. Italian design dominates globally. Ferrari, Gucci, Armani. Italian craftsmanship is unmatched. How? Italians succeed not because of government, but despite it. They've perfected the art of working around obstacles, finding solutions, using personal connections. This is pragmatism disguised as rule-breaking. Ask an Italian where they're from. They'll name their town, not their country. Regional identity matters more than national. Florentines and Sienese still remember medieval rivalries. This should divide. Somehow it enriches. Italy has had over 60 governments since World War II. Political stability is a foreign concept. But life continues. Because Italians don't rely on government for everything. Family and community fill gaps. Italy faces real challenges. Youth unemployment over 30% in some regions. Brain drain as young Italians leave for opportunities elsewhere. Economic stagnation. These aren't small issues. But Italy has survived worse. Invasions, plagues, wars, economic collapses. The country endures because Italians are survivors, adaptable, connected. They take care of each other when systems fail. Italian innovation continues, not in Silicon Valley way, but in design, fashion, automotive engineering, food technology, sustainable agriculture. Italy innovates in its own way, on its own terms. Italy must balance preservation with progress. Can't change historic centers. Can't build modern infrastructure without destroying ancient foundations. Every renovation reveals Roman ruins underneath. History is blessing and burden. Tourism brings 30 billion euros annually, but it's destroying what people come to see. Venice is drowning in tourists. Florence is becoming a theme park. Rome can't breathe. How to balance economic need with cultural survival. Young Italians are global, tech-savvy, mobile, but still Italian. Still value family. Still argue about proper carbonara. Identity isn't abandoned, it evolves. Climate change threatens Italian agriculture. Wine production, coastal cities, alpine glaciers melting. Italy must adapt or lose industries that define it. The challenge is existential. Italy is ancient stones with fiber optic cables, medieval towns with contemporary art galleries, traditions maintained while society modernizes. The contradiction isn't problem, it's the point. Italians argue constantly about politics, food, soccer, everything. But shared identity exists underneath. Language, culture, history, the arguing itself is form of belonging. The Italian flag, green for the land, white for the Alps, red for blood shed for unity. Italy unified only in 1861, 160 years ago. The nation is young. The culture is ancient. Both are true. So what is Italy? It's Rome's eternal contradictions, Tuscany's artistic soul, Venice's impossible beauty, the South's fierce passion, food as religion, the art of living well, glorious chaos somehow functioning. But maybe Italy is simpler than that. Maybe it's just the belief that life should be beautiful, that pleasure matters, that family comes first, that today's meal is as important as tomorrow's meeting. Italians don't have everything figured out. They'll tell you themselves. They complain constantly about government, traffic, bureaucracy, each other. Complaining is practically a national sport. But they've understood something other cultures miss. That efficiency isn't everything. That some things, love, beauty, connection, can't be optimized. That living well means living fully. Italy gave the world the Renaissance, the Roman Empire, opera, pizza, the Vespa, gelato. But its greatest export might be simpler. The reminder that we're human beings, not human doings. Italy is flawed, chaotic, frustrating, impossible, and absolutely, undeniably, magnificently itself. It doesn't apologize, it doesn't explain. It just exists. Intensely, passionately, beautifully. Italy teaches you that perfection is overrated, that chaos can be creative, that some of the best things in life, love, art, food, connection, can't be scheduled or optimized. They just have to be lived. And once you've lived even a moment the Italian way, every other way feels a little less alive. This was Simply Global Travel. Subscribe to our channel and join us, one journey at a time, as we explore the world through a fresh lens.